So, do you want to know why I had to pull everything out today?
I would love to know why, especially in this ungodly heat.
So, I did a timing belt job yesterday. And when I was working on a car this morning, I realised that one of the tools that I used to do the timing belt wasn't in the spot where I thought it should be, which would have been very bad because the tool that I was missing was one that I used on the timing belt tensioner, so it was like inside the timing belt cover. So I pulled out all my tools and went through everything to tidy it all up, and I couldn't find it. So I was
Slightly stressful.
I was making peace with myself for the fact that I'd have to drive back to the Gold Coast just to see this fucking thing again. And then
gross.
I was like, oh, I wonder if I left it on my magnetic parts tray that I use for, and it was right there. So I spent an hour.
You spent an hour looking for it when all you had to do was look at the back wall.
Look at the last thing I touched.
Yeah.
Yep. So. Yeah. So because of that, I've now started cleaning up. I've thrown out $120 worth of tools that were dead broken, that I were never going to see the light of day again. And I thought I may as well run you through all of my tools that I use on a day-to-day anyway. So.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Where do you want to start?
You're the boss.
Should we start with the boxes that I've got to put in, or the bags? Let's start with the boxes.
Okay.
So, I like to buy tools, but I don't like spending money.
Oh, really? Funny that.
So, I try to buy tools as not often as possible, but that also means that like I have some weird shit, and also the cars that I work on mean that being like mobile and stuff, means that I have some weird shit. So, first tub is assortments of washers and like epoxies and little test kits and shit. So like fiber washers, copper washers, a bit of aviation goop, which is, it's got the smell that we like. A little sniff for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just like Cheryl out of Archer. Teflon tape, which I guess should stay there, but I never use. And then like coolant test strips, Loctite. A little handy pack of split pins, which are not going to go in there by themselves. They're going to go in this. Oh, this was the other thing. This was the other reason that I had to pull everything out. This had been put somewhere. This.
Somewhere safe.
Yep, tray full of split pins, and was mysteriously upside down.
Oof.
And everywhere.
Oh yeah, no.
So, there's still some around, and I'm not going to finish that. My next tub is like generic straps and stuff to look after the ute. So, like ratchet straps for if I need to pick something up, hole saws, which means that I will keep that arbor. I bought this a month ago. $40 for the spout with a gas bottle.
Yeah.
And like the some of the other brands were like $120 or something.
Ugh.
I've used it every week.
Really?
Literally every week since I bought it, I have used this.
What have you been using it on?
Everything. Need a cigarette? Trying to heat up your dinner? I just have at it. One of my tools was doing something weird, so I like heated it up and tried to reharden it, because I was like, I don't quite want to buy a new one yet, but I also like am happy to buy a new one if I need to.
But if you don't need to.
Well, I thought I may as well experiment with it and see what, because I'm trying to find a good way to harden or oxide steel for like projects that I've been working on.
Yeah.
Next tub is like strange diagnosis. So this is a set of verniers, digital verniers. Normally when I get these, I actually grind a big lip, a big like opening in here and in here, so that I can measure brake calipers.
Oh, okay.
Not brake calipers, brake rotors. But I haven't yet, and I probably won't, because I don't do that very much. Very old, very abused timing light, which I got as a gift, but I also use this way more than I ever thought I would. A set of superfine feeler gauges and a set of standard feeler gauges for measuring the distance between stuff. I should probably put a little bit of Earl on that, because these are made out of this really... All they tell you is the distance between two things. They're made out of like really, really, really fine slivers of steel. So you got to put some oil on them, otherwise they just turn to fucking rust and die.
Delightful.
Yeah. Is there a tin of spritzy stuff? Yeah.
Somewhere
It's
in the
never
Great
that.
Abyss.
It's never that wet in Queensland anyway. Gunson colour tune. I know like 3 people that have one of these that I've ever met. It's a really old school tool. Again, really weird. That's for like tuning carbureted cars.
Oh, okay.
I've actually used it on some fuel injected cars, just like to get an idea of what was going on, right? Because it's like it's a glass spark plug. It's a see-through spark plug, which is like, oh, what kind of wizardry is that? Well, for your old shit, it means that you could like look in and get an idea of how something was running, and then tune it up or tune it down based on that. I had one of these which was the right size, which was great, and then I think Big Mike did a Big Mike.
Do you care to translate that?
I think Big Mike saw it somewhere and thought, oh, it's a fucking weird piece of metal in a plastic tub. Oh, it's probably rubbish, and just binned it. Which is great because it's like $100 to buy a new one. And when he threw it out, it was in the middle of COVID, and they'd run out of the right-sized ones.
Oh no.
So I actually managed to, very weird, there's a model aeroplane shop in Australia that makes a brass spacer or a brass adapter, so you can put like an M10 spark plug into an M12 hole. So
Innovative problems require innovative solutions.
no, it doesn't. And then a TK test for cylinder head failure and that sort of shit, but I don't actually see all that much of that sort of stuff, thankfully. And a tool that I've been looking forward to trying out is a spark tester. And I'm only looking forward to trying that out because I keep electrocuting myself.
Yeah, hence the sticker.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lincoln Bite, no. O-rings, because I haven't found a good spot to put those yet, because even though I went from a 4-foot hatchback to an 8-foot, I still don't have enough space. Basic drill bits. What do I call this? This is just like... This is my like hitting and shit's gone kind of uncomfortable drawer.
Okay.
Like not uncomfortable, but like shit's not the best it should be. So drill bits, step drill bits. Seen those on Pornhub.
I was thinking it, but you said it.
Micro screwdrivers for like key batteries, but I never actually use them because I forget I own them. I forget I own more tools than I have.
Could it have anything to do with the fact that until today your tray's been an absolute fucking disaster?
No, I've figured out ways to do it without certain tools.
Well, it's probably not a bad thing.
And then I buy the tool to do it the right way, and I never do it. Yep.
But at least you have it if you remember that you have it.
Yeah, but I never do. Because I never need to use it.
No, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
This was a purchase 3 weeks ago, and I use that every week. That's a stethoscope. So for like diagnosing noises.
Fun.
Snap-on seal punch. Not seal punch. Bearing race punch. With some part numbers. PPC 10LB. It says wear safety goggles. Don't bother. If it happens, it happens. No, this one's extra. I only have one punch. I only have one punch, and it's this one. And it's got this like slightly rounded tip on it, so that when you're hitting bearings into like wheel hubs, it doesn't score the wheel hub. 3 different oil filter claws. The screws keep falling out of them. So, and I keep going, oh, I'll fix that one day, and then never go to buy the screws. Which is cool. Regular tape measure, mini tape measure, 3 lots of straight edges in different sizes, a stretch belt installation tool for fan belts on cars where they don't have a tensioner. Sometimes you've got to like stretch the rubber belt on. A CV boot banding tool, which I've used 4 times, maybe, and it's shit, but every once in a while it's nice to have. And then a tool that I couldn't live without, but I went without for so long, is just a basic cold chisel. So that is a metal chisel that's specifically designed to cut metal. So you lay it in. It's actually really impressive. But for like doing bushes and stuff, sometimes the outer casing of the bushing is metal and it doesn't want to budge. So move on to that. Wow, have to take your eyes out. It's almost like you should be wearing safety glasses.
Something like that.
I've got 2 Milwaukee torches, same thing. Harmonic balancer pulley set, which has been used less often for harmonic balancers and more often for oh shit, this might work. An assortment of sump plugs and sump plug washers. Jump starter, because it's like 30% of my diagnosis call outs is it won't start. And then a diesel fuel system primer, which I bought after I had a day where I needed one and didn't have it. And then I've never needed it again. At all. Ever.
You'll have like one incident in like the next 10 years where you might need it.
Yep.
And you'll probably forget that you have it.
I spent $300 on the tool to have it. What's next? Should we...
What about your hammers? What do you use your different hammers for?
Yeah. Actually, one of the best purchases I ever made was this Milwaukee underbonnet light, M12 underbonnet light. Yep, I love that.
Yeah, saves your useless apprentices having to hold up a torch for you.
Yep. Ring any bells?
Not at all.
It's not you?
No, not at all. I think you're thinking of Sam, not me.
You're all trying to deflect. Shall we move on to the shit that I haven't packed up?
Yeah, probably.
Or shall we deal with the front? Well, let's do the shit we haven't packed up.
Yeah, because there is quite a bit, and it is a little bit of a trip hazard currently.
Yeah. So, you want to come up here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. So,
it's over, Lachlan. I have the high ground.
You ever get in trouble for being a nerd?
All the time.
Put down a little bit. Be personal.
Me? Personal?
Talk back a lot.
Yes.
These, you might notice that I've got about 40 of the same screwdrivers. These are a Sid Chrome screwdriver. They are just about the cheapest screwdriver you can buy locally, but they are a complete tang through, which means the metal goes all the way up to the top, and they've got this really good little banging end.
Helpful.
So I actually use those instead of a impact hammer, impact screwdriver, and I also use them instead of a punch or a chisel, probably more often than I should, especially these small ones. So see how the tip's all like bunged up. But they say on the case never use it as a punch or whatever, but they're like soft enough that they work well. They don't tend to damage things. They're the right shape to wedge in, and like once they get wedged in, you can wiggle them about a bit. So I've thrown out 2 or 3 sets of them. Yeah, it's like $70 a set, whereas and I get a good bit of use out of every year and a half. Some of them I don't have to replace, but you can't buy them individually. I always damage the smallest ones. Y brush for scrubbing shit, smaller Y brush, which is always about to break, so I never use it. 2 wooden handled paint scrapers from Bunnings, which I use for like, if I've got to pop like gaskets and shit. So if I've got, these are actually a little bit too stiff for me, but if I've got like a, a mating surface where it's 2 pieces of metal and they just use silicone in between, I wedge these up, like this, and then I can tap on the back of them with a hammer. And it's not like a chisel; it doesn't really damage the metal like chisels do.
Yeah.
What else we got here? These are going in a different box. Picked up these Milwaukee flare nut spanners 3 weeks ago because Burson's was having a big Milwaukee sale. Not a fan. Not the biggest fan.
Why is that?
They're just kind of bulky, and the thing that you need to get them onto is never in the right spot. Like, because the angle is only this open, right? Like, say the point is right here. You can only ever, like, align it with your nut in that point. Which makes it really, really frustrating. Because instead of, like, a double hex spanner, or a 12-point spanner, being able to do, like, every, what is it, 30 degrees? On that, you've got 60 degrees before you can, like, put it onto another thing. And there's just never that much space. Other than that, in this case, I normally just keep my, like, weird dangly hose clamp pliers, which I pull out in case of emergency, and all of my assorted extra large double long spanners. So almost everything I keep on my truck is metric, which means that it's the real size, and not some stupid made up American thing. But I've got like double long SP ring spanners, and like double long ratcheting blue point spanners. And I've got duplicates of some in different brands, and a couple of them are offset as well. I bought these SP Tool ones because they're available. I don't like them. Yeah, feel that one. Yep.
Yeah.
And then feel this one.
It feels weird.
Which one? This one feels... The SP Tools one, the box, the, like, shaft of it is really square, which means that if you're pulling on it really, really hard, it starts to, like, dig into your fingers, and it's kind of uncomfortable. Whereas every other spanner has this nice sort of rounded edge on it.
Ah, okay.
Which means that it doesn't hurt your hands, so...
Hence why I probably felt like it felt weird.
Yeah, pretty disappointed about that. And then I do keep a couple of Imperial things, but only for... I don't know. I actually don't know why I keep them.
How often would you say you use them?
Never. Literally never. But I think I keep these on board because some old shit, the sump plugs are either 1 or 1 1/8 inch, and that doesn't really cross over to a metric size very well, which is ironic because almost everything crosses over to a metric size.
Didn't you have a sump plug a couple of weeks ago that you were trying to source that was like really weird?
Probably.
Yeah.
I work on enough weird things.
That's true. You lose track of what weird stuff you do work on.
Yeah. This is the example of some of the shit that I was trying out. So I've, like, got this set of bits that I've never used, which is going rusty, as they sit in the bottom of the thing.
Yep.
What else goes in this bag? I'm just going to keep packing it as I go, because I ripped everything out. Normally in this box I keep my set of adapters, so that means I can use my 3/8 chrome sockets on my 1/2 inch rattle gun, which is specifically not what they tell you not to do. And then I'm pretty sure every mechanic I've ever met has got this exact set of like weird bits and adapters. And mine, I've had mine for a decade, and
it's like an initiation rite.
Pardon?
It's like an initiation rite.
Yeah, it is. And you know, like, not really bad tools. A lot of people get real weird about, oh, you should only use Snap-on, or you should only use whatever. I buy what is available on the day.
Well, and I suppose you use whatever's right for the job.
Yeah, I actually want to buy a whole bunch of Koken stuff. And the Snap-on stuff is usually pretty good, but it's super expensive. And then occasionally you get just an absolute dud of a product.
Yeah.
Like these plastic socket rails. These would be great if it was living in a toolbox all the time.
But it's
because
not.
they're lock-on,
Yeah.
right? They're twist lock, which is lovely. But because I mount these side-on, you can see the bottom 3 have all snapped. So
Just snapped on? Snapped?
yeah. Well, don't tell my rep that.
Yeah, I'll tell him when he comes into work, shall I?
He'll never forgive me. A basic set of wheel nut sockets, including one which I should probably throw out. Oh, I kept this one because I've never seen one split.
Oh boy. How did that happen?
Actually wasn't doing anything weird with it. It just died. Just decided to die.
Boo.
But I like these because they're either really thin wall, or they've got the whatever it is on the outside. That's an adapter bit which I did some jank shit to make it fit in a drill that I don't have anymore. This one can go back in. Guess we should talk about my headboard here as well.
Yeah, probably.
Seeing as that's sort of where we're at.
Sounds like a plan.
It's just cheap shit.
Yeah.
That's a pegboard from Bunnings. Couple of socket spanner racks, plastic ones. They came in the same kit as that. Magnetic parts tray, and then a set of standard combo spanners in metric, 8 through 19, and a set of ratcheting spanners in 8 through 19 as well. You notice there's a couple of different ones in here, double ups and shit as well. That snap-on ratcheting one is from when I broke my other Blue Point ratcheting one. I really fucking love this tool because it's got the ratcheting open end as well, which is awesome. It bites on, the ratcheting open end bites on as well as any standard wrench just about,
Nice.
which is cool. So I use that more often than I'd like to admit, and then because there's so much vibration and shit just going everywhere all the time in the ute, very occasionally a tool will go missing and just flat out missing. So 6 months later I find it when I do a big clean out, and that's why I've got two 12s and a different 8mm.
To replace the ones that have gone missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little pocket magnet which I use when I'm checking spark plugs.
When you drop things.
Yep. Set of Blue Point, mostly Blue Point 1/4 inch short and deep. A set of Blue Point short sockets, that's 6mm through to 24 and a 3/8. And then I also have a set of, these are a weird brand which I can't find anymore, but I really like them. Fuller, which is some German brand. Fuller 3/8 deep sockets. Love them. I almost exclusively go for the single hex, which means, so see how this one's got one set, 6 sides in it, and this one's got 12. The 12-sided ones mean you can get on the same as the difference between the flare nuts and the, where I was saying you can get on every 30 degrees. That guy he's playing Phil Collins.
Kind of sounds like it.
Yeah, that's
good on you, little legend.
Hammers. I have got so many fucking tools.
I know, this isn't even half of it.
Yeah. Hammers, rubber mallet I never use. Steel ball peen hammer I use all the time. Copper mallet I use for everything that I wouldn't use steel on. So anything that's going to get damaged, broken.
And it's been well loved. Can you maybe give us an example of what you might use a hammer on?
Any sort of really annoying apprentice would be the starting point.
Oh boy. Scared.
No, if it doesn't move and it should, or if it doesn't move and you want it to, or if the thing that you want to move is being impeded by something else, then,
So basically, if it's not doing what you want...
Yeah, just start throwing shit at it.
Sounds like my starter motor.
Sounds like, no comment. Bought a set of files for the first time this year. Love them. They're just Barco, because they come in a set for like $70. Then we move on to, so I've got like 3 sort of main sections in my toolkit in the stuff that I have. It's like my everyday stuff in this corner, including, and then like split into separate bags, and then I keep my like more random shit under here. And then I keep my like chemicals and jacks in the back and on the other side.
Yep. Pretty good
What
system.
do I have in here? Whole bunch of pliers, mostly Knipex.
Yes, you do love your Knipex.
Yeah, I found out I was saying wrong.
Oh, how are you supposed to say it?
Knipex.
Knipex.
Stupid, I hate it.
Yeah, that just doesn't
No.
feel right, does it?
What am I gonna say? I've got a knife. Lance calls on the Telepone. Bullshit. What have I got in here that's good? Nothing. Nothing in here is any good.
No.
It's just a fucking... You know what? Doing this sort of thing making me feel really depressed about the amount of money I've spent on.
Do you maybe want to have a rough guess?
Oh, I'll tell you.
Oh boy. You have an almost exact figure, don't you?
No. No idea what those spanners were worth. Or those ones. I'm pretty sure I got those sockets in a service kit, which was $600. So that was that one, and those ones. The fuller sockets were $150. The snap-on adapters were probably $200, probably $300. Both sets of the Milwaukee pliers, not Milwaukee pliers, the Milwaukee flare nut spanners were $95. Assorted spanners, Blue Point spanners in there, they were probably like $500, and the assorted extras are probably another $300 or something. Then what have I got in there? Drill bits were like $100 each for the sets. All those tools are like, call it $30, $40 each. $90 for those, $90 for the Gunson, $100 for the TK test, $40 for the propane torch. Pretty sure every one of these cost me like fucking $200. That's a $700 jump starter.
Oh yeah, so it racks up pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh, both of these torches were worth like $90.
What about your under bonnet one?
200, maybe. But they come without the batteries.
Of course.
Yeah. So what do we got in here? 41mm socket for Land Cruiser hubs. 22mm O2 sensor socket, which has got a slot cut in it for the wires, and an assortment of random half-inch impacts up to like 36. That is a Blue Point one. I think that socket by itself was $50 or $70. Inner tie rod rack end removal tool. I think that was $50. A set of brake pad measuring gauges, which I never used. They were $50. Set of line clamps, which just stop the fluid coming out, like if I'm pulling off a radiator hose just for a little bit. Weird offset 41mm spanner for Holden, Barina, something else. Water pumps. I think that was like $50. Snap-on, this one's a good one, and this one's a good one. So 36mm ultra short 3/8 socket, that's for Volvo fuel filters, which I haven't done in like 5 years, but good to have. That was a pretty cheap one, but that Snap-on 27, that's the right size for like Ford and Peugeot diesel fuel filters, in the ones where you can't get to them easily, and it's like the only tool that does it well. And I think that socket was like $80 by itself, which is great.
Worth every cent.
Yep, I use it because it works on the Fiats as well. Dinky little ball joint removal tool. So all these Blue Point spanners and shit, they're not so bad, but these fucking Snap-on spanners, these cunts are like $75 each. So every time I replace one of the Blue Point ones with a Snap-on one, because my Snap-on rep never carries the Blue Point shit. Fucking
Words
dickhead.
with him. Share with Andrew.
Fucking ridiculous. No, Andrew's not the problem. Yes, he is the problem. He's the one. It's his truck. forgot to mention I got a cheapy little blue magnet tray up there.
Yeah, what have you got in your magnet tray at the moment?
1 1/4-inch socket, 2 razor blades, a grenade pin, and some spare bolts.
Okay, I'm going to ask the obvious question. A, why do you have razor blades? And 2, why do you have a grenade pin?
The grenade pins for like fan belt tensioners and shit.
Okay.
They're easy. It means that I can like pin them or unpin them. I never actually pin them, I just deal with it. But it's nice to have, and every new one you buy comes with one. So, and the razor blades for like removing gaskets and stuff like that. So, makes it easy to clean stuff up. What else? I keep 2 fire extinguishers because I saw a car fire 3 weeks ago. Any assortment of these trim clip removal tools, they're $20 each, and I just have 10 of them because why not? But I only ever use the one. Go figure. 2 1/2-inch extensions. I never actually use 1/2-inch stuff, but it's nice to have just in case. Knipex needle nose 200mm with the. I hate the fucking Knipex have these like insulated handles that you can get, and they're just real big and bulky, and I hate it so much. Because like I'm probably not going to get electrocuted that much.
Probably not.
So set of those, set of Knipex side cutters, which are great. Set of Knipex linesmans, standard combinations, which are great. No complaints. Only complaint is the needle nose, the grooves are starting to wear out, but what am I going to complain? I've had 10 years out of them, so.
Yeah.
Seal puller, which is good for wheel bearings. I think that was $40. Shitty Sid Chrome, what do we call these? Adjustable wrench. Crimpers, just cheapy ones, they were $40. These, what do you call these? Wire strippers? Shit, never buy them. They're a great design, and they work really well for like the first 6 months. But as soon as they're like exposed to any sort of hard environment, they just don't cooperate, which is why I moved on to these Knipex ones. These were like $100 or $110, and I don't appreciate the price because they feel like they're cheap, shitty plastic.
Yeah.
But they have made wiring so much, any sort of wiring repairs super easy. I had a pair of these, but one of them went missing. That's just like a circlip ply, so that's like the circlip. How are you gonna explain a circlip? It's a clip that is a circle shape.
Seems like a fairly easy explanation.
Knipex Cobra grips. I fucking adore these. And Jamie's got my fucking small pair, the cunt. He's had it for like 4 months as well, and he keeps, I'll bring him back to you. Fucking bring him back to me.
Yeah, you know there's a solution for that. It's called the hammer.
It is the hammer.
Yes.
These were another $90 pair of pliers, but I love them. If you so much as said that you were going to try and take these off me, I'd slap you with them.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch, because they weigh a bit. I wonder if I can do the demonstration that the Knipex guy does. The more force you apply to these, the tighter they grip. So, yeah. So, love them. They're also instantly adjustable, which means that like when I'm got one hand in a weird spot and something else, I can like just push a button and adjust them.
That's very handy.
Yep. Blue Point hose clamp pliers, they were like $100 and they're great, but they're not that great. I'd probably just go and buy a cheap pair if I did it again. They make like spring hose clamps easier to do. A set of Blue Point spark plug ignition lead puller pliers, which I've used less often for ignition leads and more often for just like something round that I needed to get off. Snap-on adjustable increased leverage, whatever these are, standard combination pliers. I saw Ash, who's an old mechanic I know, we were having trouble with an old Dodge truck, and we were trying to replace a brake line fitting, and the brake line fitting rounded off as we were fitting it. Nothing we could do about it, and like whatever. he grabbed his set of these out and just like, he had good snap-on wrenches too, snap-on spanners. Grabbed his set of these out, just grabbed onto it with one hand and tightened it up with these. And I was like, you know what? I'm having those.
Yep.
Pair of radiator hooks, which just help release hoses that are stuck on. So I use those not all that much, but I do. And probably my favourite set of pliers from the last year and a half, which is these snap-on flush cuts, which are ungodly expensive, but they leave, when you cut stuff with them, they don't, like, especially zip ties, they don't leave any sticking out, so you don't get cuts off of zip ties.
Nice.
Pop rivet gun, because sometimes Hyundais, and a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 torque wrench, which I bought these ones, these micrometer style ones, specifically because I am out. I don't want a tool that is gonna like need new batteries or like have a failure, like a massive failure. So I'd rather just have something that's gonna work all the time.
Yep. Makes sense.
Especially if you look after it. And I had those for 6 years or 8 years. I took them to get checked and calibrated, right? Because you're meant to check and calibrate a torque wrench every year. I went like 6 or 8 years without calibration. They were perfect. They didn't need to be adjusted.
Love that.
Little set of Milwaukee 1/4 inch sockets and shit. They have imperial and metric. I want to replace my Blue Point ones up here with these ones because they've got a couple of extra sizes, and they're also square, so they don't roll away when you're working on like uneven ground. I just can't bring myself to unmount. I like all the tools. I like all tools equally. I want both sets, but
gotta have them all.
I know I don't really have the space or the setup to do both sets.
I mean, hey, look, everyone has their own collection. Some people collect stuff for animals, others collect vinyl. You collect tools.
I collect junk, basically.
It's not even junk, though, if it's got a use.
Yeah, but half of it I've never actually used. This bag used to hold all my sockets and stuff when I was back in my small hatchback.
Is this the Fiat?
Yeah.
How much of this shit did you carry around in the Fiat?
Almost everything except the stuff that goes in here. So I have gained a bit, but not as much as you'd think. But in here, so now that I've got all my sockets on the wall, all that I keep in here is like ratchets and extensions, a set of Allen keys, a set of picks, which are okay. They're just cheapy shit ones. I don't really like them, but they're worth having. Like a couple of universal joints, and what else have I got? Oh, my like weird bits for 1/4 inch, so like 1/4 inch and 3/8. So 3/8 Allen keys and 3/8 and 1/4 inch Torx, 1/4 inch Phillips, 1/4 inch, that sort of stuff. So like those little buddy sockets, which I use more often than I actually probably use the 1/4 inch Torx more often than the 1/4 inch hex. So maybe I should swap those out at some point. I forgot to mention I got a little torch up there. It's just a Nava one, but I love it. It's easy. It makes life a little bit faster.
Well, we're all about easy.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?
Just you're making shit comments, aren't you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Can I make this close? I'd like for this to close.
What have you got in there?
This is just random bolts. This is shit drawer.
The miscellaneous shit drawer.
Yep, 100% miscellaneous shit drawer. So, part of my cleaning up today was... Why are you not cooperating? That's why. Part of my cleaning up today was taking everywhere that I had... what is going on here? Did I put these on the wrong side or something? Or are they just not cooperating for the sake? Pull down here as well. Don't worry, we'll fix it in post. What are you caught up on, my guy? There we go. Watch it all fucking...
Oh, most definitely.
I am running out of the patience to deal with you, Yick.
Ouch, that's no way to speak to your tools.
Well, you come and try it.
Nah.
You probably make it work. You don't want to embarrass me. Sorted miscellaneous bolts and bullshit for when shit breaks.
Which is how often?
Not that often. I try to be really, really gentle with tools, with nuts and bolts. I think we should move on to putting these boxes back in. So, I'll just show you quickly what's in each. And then we'll sort them in the rack. Timing belt toolkit for Volkswagens. Not the full toolkit because I'm not spending $2,500 on the fucking digital tool that you need a laptop for. That was $200 off of the internet.
No. Maybe if you loved Volkswagens.
I don't like Volkswagens.
Oh, we know. It's so fun to tease you about that.
Oil pressure kit. That just lets me test oil pressure. I think that was a couple $100. What's this one? Timing belt toolkit for 5-cylinder Volvos and 5-cylinder Ford motors. Timing belt, timing kit for 2-cylinder Fiats. Weird engine. Cool car, weird engine.
Well, you do love your Italian ship boxes.
Oh, I do. I think that one, I think a customer bought me that one.
Oh.
So I could work on their car.
How kind.
Standard brake wind back tool. Like everyone's got one of these. They're just from Repco or from Persons, but they're all the same price and they all do the same thing. And they're all put in these stupid boxes, which they all fall out of. But they're $200. Set of Blue Point sockets for like CV shafts. So they're all the same as the bigger ones that I keep in my blue bag, but they're all dual point and they're in much bigger sizes, all the way up to 41mm. I think those were $350 for 9 sockets.
Necessary evil.
But I got a discount because I bought them in a kit, you know?
Well, we do love discounts.
This one is a petrol fuel pressure test kit, which is always ending up in a bit of a mess.
Is that because it's such a high use item?
No, I actually rarely use that one at all. It's just, I think because it gets banged about and there's so many little fittings in it, it just ends up, that was like $200 something, 250. A set, I really, really love these. These are bearing race installers and seal installers. So this is a nice like punch thing that you hold onto, and then you just pop your installer on the punch. And these are replaceable and they're aluminium, so they don't damage shit.
Nice.
I think that was like a $300 kit as well. You got a running total in your head?
No, I lost count after a couple of grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the crux of the story is don't become a mechanic, it's a financial mistake.
Yeah. Just some SP tools. What are these shits? I know what they are. They're sump plug sockets for weird sump plugs. So for some reason, a whole bunch of companies thought that a bolt wasn't good enough. So they started putting square drive bolts in so that normal people couldn't fucking do that. I think it's Mercedes, triangle bolt for the oil change. Ugh. Go away. Thankfully I've not had to use the triangle yet.
But you have it when you do.
And 2 little custom tools that I made for another tool we'll see later. I have a lot of shit in here.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of shit.
Just think about how much nicer it's going to be once it's all neat and sorted.
Fuel tank, fuel filter, fuel pump removal tool. That cost me $200. I've never used it. I bought it specifically for a job. Didn't work on the job. Couldn't send it back.
That's unfortunate.
Good for me.
Mm-hmm. But you have an extra tool.
Yeah, and know where to put the bastard thing.
I mean, looks like you have a place to put it. It's not a good place, it just is a place.
Generic pullers for these never work. You know what I'm realizing a lot out of these out of this video?
What's that?
Everything in here never works. I keep buying these specific tools to do specific jobs and then ending up using a hammer. Turns out you could replace all of my toolbox with one hammer. Just about.
I think you just about tried that.
These are meant to like help pull steering wheels or like remove ball joints and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes they do their job, most of the time they don't do anything. And I revert to the hammer because that's how it works. I have often considered getting a pickle fork, which is like a different type of ball joint remover. But if you've got a pickle fork, you commit to damaging the ball joint.
Oh.
The rubber boot, which I'm just not sure I'm ready for. That is a brake flare tool, which we've used like three times to do some work on that old Dodge. That just helps to like repair brake lines, basically. If I had my time over again, I'd buy a more expensive one of those. And then in these two, we've got, this is one I actually do use more often, petrol compression tester. Just give me an idea whether the engine's in good enough health. And this is a dial indicator gauge with a magnetic base. So I use that if I need to take like precise measurements about particular things, basically. Then my blue point sockets also live in here. That was there for a second. I also have a slide hammer that helps me remove wheel bearings and shit. I've also got a special adapter in here, this one, that's meant to help me remove CV shafts from cars. Never really had any luck with it.
No?
No, I quite often try to make that one work because I want it to work. It wasn't expensive, it's just one that I want to work. It was like $70, 50 or $70. But it almost never has enough room for it to work in there. And then if it does have enough room, it almost never has enough sort of power. I've usually had better luck like prying the CV shaft out with like a fucking big screwdriver or a pry bar, or with grabbing onto it with like a set of multi-grips and hammering on the inside of the multi-grips. But I will probably at some point buy a cheap set of vice grips and weld a nut on that suits the slide hammer so that I can do that without the same technique without risking my fingies, because I keep risking my fingies. What's next? Oh, I think I should put in this box. This one normally holds, or should hold, my scan tool, but it always lives in the cab at the moment. So it just has the adapters and shit for my scan tool. I use an Autel. It doesn't matter what you use so long as it does the job. I'm not going to go out and buy the strappy one because it's fucking $7 for a strappy one that's the equivalent of my $2,500 Autel one.
Well, and don't you have to like update it like every couple of years and stuff as well?
Yeah. So I still have to update my Autel, and I've got to buy the updates for that. And I'm not happy about it, but the updates for the Autel are like $300, $500 a year. But they also backdate entirely. They backdate the entire catalogue. Whereas apparently with the Snap-on one, if you miss 1 year, it's like $1,200 per year. But if you miss 1 year, you've got to buy every year's updates.
Ugh, gross.
So, bit shit.
What's the comparison in price for like updates with Snap-on?
It's like $1,200 versus $500 or $700.
Yeah, right. So,
Whatever.
No-brainer.
Yep. Coolant, vacuum fill, and pressure test kit. These are pretty awesome. I don't keep a compressor on the truck, so I almost never use the vacuum fill. But the pressure tester does make diagnosing coolant leaks very easy, comparatively. I also keep a set of super cheap and super shitty spring compressors back there. Just SP ones that are like $120. This is a oil filter toolkit. So for like Toyotas with cartridge filters and Mercedes, BMWs, that sort of shit. Anything with a paper filter cartridge instead of a spin-on filter. They're all white and powdery because they're made out of aluminium, and they got a bit of rain on them 2 years ago, and when aluminium oxidizes, it goes like weird and white.
Yep.
I'm wearing my Milwaukee shirt, but that doesn't mean I'm a big the biggest Milwaukee fan. I've just got a few Milwaukee things because I got into their system. This is their big fuck off size 18 volt high torque impact, whatever. I use it when nothing else will take things off, and when that doesn't take things off, then I start to wonder about my life choices.
Having an existential.
I would say about the Milwaukee gear though, I'm disappointed that I've had to buy so many batteries.
Yeah.
A, the batteries fail. B, like, they're always flat.
Yeah.
So you go and charge out the whole bunch of them, and then a week and a half later you got like 6 flat ones, and you're like, oh, whoops. I do get a long time out of them.
Yeah.
But I don't have like solar or anything on the ute.
Yeah.
So, e-Torx sockets, 3/8 short, that's for Eurotrash. Standard Torx, 3/8 sockets, that's for basically everything now. Imperial pass-through sockets for a tool we're going to see later. Don't like this tool.
No.
No, spent too much money on it. And these sockets feel like they want to slip off too much, which makes me a bit anxious. And then something I'm really happy about is these little Wessel screwdrivers, because they're JIS style, which means they work better on Japanese cars. And then like vacuum bungs for the sake. And this has got to go in this. Oh my god, my spine. These are metrics sockets for real Eurotrash. That's for Volkswagens. I fucking hate that Volkswagen uses these. And I have snapped 3 of these cunts.
Oh boy.
Like, Volkswagen rear brakes, just for some reason. Getting through this, actually.
Yeah.
We're getting, like, a bit closer.
Slowly but surely. Up here.
I've got a 3-ton trade quip jack. Don't trust it, and it's also broken at the moment. So I will be replacing that at some point. But what I have got instead is a Barco 2-ton. What is it? 2-ton low pro aluminium. It just ticks all the boxes. It's like 50% lighter than my trade quip jack, and way nicer, and it doesn't sink at all or do any stupid shit. 2 different sets of jack stands for if I want to like sit under a car for a long time. I can pop those up and feel a bit safer. Set of witches hats for doing roadside work, because you got to have them. You don't have to have them, but it does help.
It certainly emphasises your safety.
Yep, it looks good too.
Yeah, looks very professional.
Another pair of small jack stands, and I've got like 6 sets of those laying around the place, because if I need to leave a car, I'll put it on the jack stands and then leave it. A little bottle jack, which I have had for years. I realised the other week that it doesn't lift as high as I want it to, so I do want to replace it at some point. Down in the front I keep a assortment of spray cans, a brake suction bleeder, which I just use as a capsule, so I can pump things through. My spare tyre removal thing, Milwaukee M12 13mm shuck drill, which I actually just keep shucked up with the wire wheel, because that's what I use most often. New stubby M12 half inch and the old stubby M12 half inch. Both of those are great. The way to change how much power this puts out frustrates me.
Why is that?
Just kind of silly. You've got to, so on the old one it had like a dedicated button on top. You press the button and it would light up under the number with the amount of power, right? And this has seen some shit, you can tell. This one, you put it in the, so you got like forward and reverse, you put it in between in neutral, and then you like double pump the trigger. And it just feels wrong. I've also got a 3/8 snap-on one, but I need to charge the battery. And I can't find the plug for the charger, which is
slightly problematic.
Yeah, $700 tool and a fucking $200 battery, or whatever it is. I think it's $700 for the kit, for the tool and the battery. Yeah, fucking upset, heartbroken. Couple of drain trays, assorted like random wet bits, assorted funnels. I always keep a couple of blocks of wood. It's really loud, for jacking on to like stuff that I want to protect. Milwaukee M18 vacuum, which is never used in a vacuum. That's only ever used like Henry the Hoover. No, I only use that one to like suction, create suction in case I've got to like replace sump plugs and shit
Yeah, right.
now, which is cool. Then I keep my M12 pass-through, which is okay. This is the like other half of those sockets, which I didn't like.
Ah, right.
Yep. So the tool itself is okay. I think it just makes too much torque. And then up in the front here, I keep, what do we got? Yup, lots of heavy shit. Jack handles.
Heavy.
Did you just do the metal thing?
No, I was doing the in quotations.
Oh, you can carry it if you want.
No, I'm good.
So I've got everything. I've got a set of knee pads, extra long handle 3/8 ratchet, half-inch torque wrench for doing like wheels and shit. A full set of snap-on wobble drive plus extensions, which means that I can get nuts and bolts off that are in like slightly unfortunate spots.
Which is probably always.
Yep, a high, forget what they call these, but they're like an impact tool to remove crankshaft nuts, and they fucking never work, basically. Fucking stupid idea. I mean, great idea in principle, but
Not
I've
in
never
practice.
had one of those take a crankshaft nut off, ever. Then I've got my little holder tool for like camshaft tightening, and one shitty branded half-inch breaker bar, and my snap-on bent breaker bar, which is at the same time really convenient and inconvenient, because it's not meant to be bent, but
No. How the bloody hell did you do that?
is fucking Mercedes. I tell you, it's the Germans. The Germans have got something against.
The world.
Yeah. In here I keep my electrical doodads and some sealant. So I've got like, what is that, Kevlar harness tape, fleece harness tape, which I like more. Standard electrical tape, blue duct tape, blue masking tape, double-sided tape, Sikaflex, an assortment of adhesive-lined heat shrink fuses and some wiring stuff. And actually, normally in here, I keep my. I also keep a crimp set, but that's inside for some stuff. There's like more tools down the back that would normally be in here. But we can. Shall we look at those? Probably not. We can amend, addendum, whatever it is.
Another video.
Yeah. A water jug so that I can top up water. And then I just keep 2 crates with bullshit stuff in them, which I need to go through and sort out.
Yep.
Because these have got my Christmas present from last year in them. Fish flops.
What?
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep. Big John got me these last year.
Oh.
How you like them?
I don't like them as much as your Jesus sandals. Just when you thought feet couldn't get any worse.
Oh, they can.
Please don't. The only thing that would make it worse is if those were like heeled.
Heeled. Oh yeah, high heel fish
Yeah.
flops. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, in fish
I'm gonna
style.
make a commission.
Ugh, disgusting.
What else do I keep normally? So I normally have a assortment of crimp connectors. I normally have a smoke machine, which Ethan borrowed, set of Noid lights. I've got just a standard-ish multimeter, which does the job, and a set of stubby snap-on spanners, which I'll show you, because they're kind of cute, but never really. I've used them 3 times, basically. I keep them in my door because I've not found a good spot for them, but I paid $300-400 for those, second hand. So, yeah, she's an old girl. The work ute as a whole is old and worn out in spaces.
I wouldn't say worn out, just well loved.
Yeah, it's mechanically good, and the tools that I keep on it are tools that make my job not easy, but mean that I can reliably do my job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like these tools aren't good for everyone, but I work with them well enough. It's an ongoing project just to keep this thing in like any sort of shape.
Yeah. Well, how long have you spent today organising this truck?
Like 3 hours to pull it all out and hose out where it had oil leaks and shit.
Yeah.
All because I was missing one socket.
Yeah. And how long before this is a fucking mess again?
Tomorrow. Like, literally, let me go for one drive, and I've done a lot to mitigate shit falling out or, like, disappearing into the ether.
Yep.
And it works pretty well, but every couple of days, like, something will fall over. It's funny. It's entertaining.
All of this hard work and it's going to be a disaster by tomorrow.
Yep. These
Yeah.
fish flops are super uncomfortable.
Yeah, maybe take them off and put your Jesus sandals back on.
Why, are they making you uncomfortable?
Yeah, very. And now he's going to keep wearing them just to spite.
Yep. What do you expect?
Nothing less.
I'm gonna wear these everywhere.
Yeah.
They're, like, unnecessarily hot on my feet.
And, like, probably really sweaty as well.
And so bad for the environment.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
It's a crime against humanity.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. That's rubbish. But I do keep those, like, fold-up crates for for, like, carrying bits when I need to. But our bin is full, so that's going to be a tomorrow jobby. Shall we pack it in?
Probably.
Go and sit inside for a minute?
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
I think we should take off the Christmas lights at some point.
Oh, but they look so pretty. Especially at night.
You know what?
The Christmas truck.
I am really, really disappointed that all of this happened today because one missing socket.
Yeah, but you know what? It gave you the motivation to do something that you've been putting off for ages. What? You said you wanted to do it over the Christmas holidays.
Well, it's still Christmas holidays.
Technically.
Yeah.
And now it's done, and you can feel good about it. Even if it's, you know, completely pointless by tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot to mention these.
Oh, good thing I didn't stop recording then.
Set of random sockets, which I never actually use. They just take up space. A spool of emery tape for sand and shit. And a pack of gloves, because I always wear gloves when I work.
Yeah.
Well, 95% of the time.
Makes sense.
30 minutes without you look like that.
Yeah, even mine, just touching random shit on the side.
Yeah.
The joys.
Let's pack it in. Mm-hmm. Oh, see you next time.
Bye-bye.